Hey, what's up, everybody? HTG Brian back live with another game break. This happens to be April 2023, and if I did all of my homework, it should state that and more down in the video description. However, I do feel like I got a little distracted at one point and may not have updated stuff, so don't look. Don't look. What's up? We got our rainy April situation here. I do have some rain I could add. What do you think? Should I add the cold November rain? I mean, it's really more of a April rain, but it's labeled November rain. So you guys tell me if it gets annoying or whatever, because it is April and it's been showering like crazy. In fact, the last couple of days have been the first couple of days we've actually had sun. And we opted to not go to a Volkswagen show yesterday and stay at home. And we've been doing a bunch of work. We also have been taking care of my grandmother's cat, as most of you have already been notified. Sadly, she had to go to the ER again and was supposed to be released, but actually just minutes ago, I got a message from my uncle that said she will be kept one more night and tomorrow she will be released. So we got our fingers crossed that things will be okay and she'll make it through the night and all that stuff, because it's not great. You know, she's getting close to her 96th birthday and we love her a lot. She's an amazing human being on so many levels. And so we're hoping that, we get a little bit more time. But, I've been trying not to think about that too much because obviously we're not there yet. And, hopefully that won't be a factor for a little while, but also quality of life has got to be considered as well. So anyways, moving on from that, good to see y'all. Welcome back, y'all. It's been a minute or so, a couple days anyways. It's been really crazy. Like I said, we got a couple of nice days, so we've been doing errands in and around the house, cleaning. We actually got some. I got some photos that I'll show you too. I got some a bunch of prep work done for our wall of sunflowers that we're known for. In fact, we had two different couples walk by while we were setting it up. And they were like, "Are you guys the ones that do this?" And we were like, "Yeah, we are." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we love it so much." And we're like, "Yeah, we do too. That's why we do it. Glad you appreciate it." And my wife today was saying, next year I might put up a sign that, on the corners and just say, if you love these sunflowers, you want to help, show up on this day. Because we actually spent a few hours out there today and it was pretty hectic. But more on that in a minute. Now, I see some people are sliding in right now. And just in case you're not familiar with the game break situation, we don't address the chat the same as, mainly because there's people that watch this later and they don't necessarily want to wait or have to skip through a bunch of stuff. So I try to get to the important stuffs right away, and then we'll get to some hanging out and recognizing y'all if I haven't already. Yeah, Bobby's here testing. They've been broken, bro. You've been lucky since you sort of threw your temper tantrum on Wednesday or whatever. It hasn't been working, so you're lucky for now. I even tried today. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see that I tried. And if anyone is out there that wants to try, feel free. But as it sits right now, it's not working. Anyways, let's talk some YouTube stats real quick and keep this show rolling. We did pretty good. As you can see, we got just a little over 1,100 subs in the last 28 days. Our views are actually a little bit lower than last month, but they're still kind of right about that same. We were at 765. So 20,000 views different isn't a huge difference, but knowing that people are sort of prepping for graduation or end of the year stuff, school's kind of ramping up for a lot of people, whether you're a parent or a student, right? So lots of stuff happening around, and summer will be here, and I do believe those numbers will sort of spike a little bit. Now, next month, we're going to get a new Lego game. That should help depending on the content we put out. Now, streams and stuff don't usually get residual views, and that's not where are traditionally what we're known for either. So we're hoping that the trophy achievement list is released soon and that maybe we can, provide some help with that. Because the guide videos are the ones that are sort of, I don't want to call them timeless, but they're as close to timeless as you can be on YouTube. Because, we still got videos from 10 years ago that are helping people on the daily. In fact, some of those Lego Hobbit and Lego Lord of the Rings videos are spiking right now, and I'm not exactly sure why. I'm grateful for it. It might have something to do with the podcast that reached out recently that wanted to interact with me, because they have their own following. And they were talking about Lego Lord of the Rings, and I'm sure at some point our channel was talked about. So, especially knowing that we may have been able to be on the podcast. Now, sadly, I missed it. It was yesterday. They were hoping to have me, and there was just no way. We were supposed to be gone, actually, and we ended up not. We canceled our fun plans to stay home and do crappy plans. So that's how that worked out. But yeah, I called YouTube and they broke it for me. All right. So, hey, real quick, I do want to just say big thanks to all you guys, because I know there's a ton of you that are here right now, or a handful at least, we'll call it. And you guys support daily, and it shouldn't go unrecognized. I greatly appreciate you, and I know the others around me that are helping out and part of the channel appreciate your support as well. So much love to you all. I'm actually going to hit the old Twitter button because I think we're good. Hopefully it's GUD. All right, so YouTube's been good. We're 187,000. Next time you see it, it'll be closer to 180. I mean, we might be at one. We're about to flip 180. It might be like 189 by next month. I mean, you do some rough math, it's going to be pretty close to 189. So, next big milestone, I suppose, would be 200,000. But I think 250 is the next one that I'm really most looking forward to, because that's the halfway point to 500,000, or also known as the quarter way. So, what up, GPG? Welcome. Appreciate the support, and glad that our DC Supervillains video helped out. All right, so moving along, as I mentioned, we've been taking care of Grandma's kitty, Snoopy. And I got to thinking, I'm not sure I've ever shared any photos of Snoop with you guys. So I figured I would do that today. This one was actually taken yesterday. Wifey and I went over there. Now, Snoop is an older kitty. He's probably 15, 16 years old. He's kind of like Grandma, sort of in the end game scenario, and struggling health-wise, and has medicine that needs to be given to him. So we've been showing up every day to make sure that he gets his love and his food. Now, the thing about Snoop is he's one of those cats that isn't very lovey-dovey. He's got his mom, my grandmother, that takes care of him, and that's pretty much all he wants or needs. And so he'll do this, like, we call it the drive-by, where he'll like kind of walk right next to you, and then as he's almost passing like your legs, he'll sort of throw his tail end at you, and sort of graze against you on the way by. And that's kind of his way of saying, hey, what's up, or thank you for stopping by, or giving me love or treats or whatever. He's not really into, belly rubs and things like that, but I missed it by about 2 seconds. He was flat on his back like this, and Jillian was just giving him all sorts of loves, and he was accepting it, like 10, 12 minutes of it. And I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen anybody able to touch him for more than like 10 seconds, and it was like 10, 12 minutes. I was pretty impressed. So Grandma was happy to see that. Reese stopped by today, captured this one. He's kind of got a snarky look on his face, like, where's my mom? And sadly, we didn't have an answer for him at that time. So, hopefully tomorrow, it sounds like she's going to go to a transitional care place. So not at home where the cat is. And it sounds like Snoop will actually get to go to what we call the pet village, or Chateau de Meow is what my dad calls it. I think I've mentioned that before in the past, but he actually has a friend that's a little rabbit, a little bunny, that he hangs out with there. It's kind of an odd pair, because like a cat and a rabbit usually don't go together. I see Hunter's out there. Can I say, why would I say, wouldn't you rather me say, what's up, Hunter? Welcome to the stream. Anyways, but so that was Snoop. Welcome to the Snoop world. He's we actually helped find him quite a few years ago. In fact, it's probably been, I want to say 8 to 10 years ago. Reese was pretty young, and their cat that they had passed away quite a while ago. It had been like a year and a half since they had any kind of animals roaming around. And they're much like us. They over the years, they lived in a farm country. They had tons and tons of cats sort of adopt them, right? Like whether the cats were abandoned or maybe like 3 neighbors down or something, like they would spend more time with my grandparents than others. Let me mute that, my bad. So anyways, it had been a long time, and they wanted to get a new cat. So we were kind of presenting all sorts of options. We were in the digital world, they were not. So we were showing them all sorts of pictures, and Grandpa ended up finding this one and I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what his real name was. He had a name before they got him, but he was like always in their cabinets and up like on the refrigerator and in all these places he shouldn't be within like the first 2 days. So Grandpa renamed him Snoopy because he was always snooping around. And he was a really good mouser. And, it was kind of a bummer when they had to take him from the farm to the third floor of an apartment that he wouldn't really be able. But they got him a little kitty, like it's like a stroller for a baby, but it's for cats. And it's all zipped in. It's got windows around it. So she would, back when she was a little more mobile, she'd push him around and take him for all sorts of walks. And everybody would love to see Snoop. So he did get his love there too, but definitely change of pace for the guy. All right, so next up, I did mention we did a bunch of work today. Some of you know and some of you don't. We actually are known for having a giant wall of sunflowers, and it's roughly, I'm fairly bad with measurements, so I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I would say it's close to 100 feet long. And it goes up a hill. We have some sort of like vacant space in between us and the neighbor house that's city land, and so it's not ever going to be developed. And it's sort of trafficked by the middle school kids and others that walk their dogs and stuff. It can kind of connect the two neighborhoods without having to go to the main busy road. And so there's always constantly people walking up and down. And I've mentioned in the past that we have a neighbor on the other side that traditionally has had a ton of junk on the side of his house: cars, car chassis, broken down parts, the tire stacks, all sorts of just garbage. He's a car builder, and so he'll buy like a car to build, and then he'll buy like 2 or 3 parts cars, and then sometimes it takes like 2 years to get rid of the parts car carcasses. He always does, and he's a decent dude. I'm not ragging on him or anything, but a couple, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, the wife came up with this idea to build sunflower wall. And it started off with like a 20-foot strand because she bought like this roll-out sunflower thing, right? Now we have sunflower seeds for days. And, we've talked with other people. This year we've got some of those big ones. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like dinosaur ones. They're supposed to be like 22 or 25 feet tall. And normally you got to pay like 30-50 bucks a seed. Somehow the wife talked this dude into giving her some when we were at a Saturday market at the end of the season last year. And so we got the teddy bear ones coming this year too, which are like super fuzzy. But anyways, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So check this out. Wife and I moved all that dirt today. So there has been obviously ground there for an eternity. But the dirt is, it's like red rock clay. If you look over just to the left of the fresh dirt pile there, you can see the path that most people walk up and down, and all the way at the top even, you can see it's red clay. There's very little grass and dirt there. It's just red clay. So we have dug down, a fair amount, probably about 6 inches to 8 inches wide and probably 4 to 6 inches deep. And so this year we supplemented our soil, and soon we'll be planting sunflowers all the way up that hill, and we'll be putting the black tarp stuff down that like prevents weeds and things from growing. And so basically they put it all down, they cut out a bunch of holes, and then they put the seeds in the holes, and then they just go like crazy. Last year we had tons and tons. I don't even know how many sunflowers. You guys probably saw them, and I'll show them to you later in the season. Now here's me. Job well done, working hard here. You can see I took a selfie and it flipped it. Like, it seems like everything's backwards because it sort of is. And wifey working up top, finishing up. And there she is, loading up. She was, for the most part, I would say it was probably 70-30. She was a shovel gal and I was the wheelbarrower. And the reason for that is because I have a terrible back, and scooping dirt off of the low ground was killing me. So as long as the pile had a little bit of height to it, I was worthy of the dirt. But are you talking to me? Nope, I'm streaming. You're fine. It's all good. So yeah, it was a fun, very exhausting day. As soon as we got done with this too, I also busted out the pressure washer. And I continued to get 2 more of our giant slabs done. So from like 9:30 to like 2:30, we were outside. So I've got a little sun today. I wore my hat You know, got to protect my forehead because I already burned it bad years ago, and I got some skin stuff because of it. But any sun, like if I go outside for like 2 minutes, it just like it gets angry, and so I have to always wear hats. In fact, guess what? I'm starting a new thing. I'm starting a new thing. It actually just arrived today. And I don't think you guys will necessarily see this because I'm not ashamed or anything. It's more for protection when I'm out and about. I don't necessarily love wearing hats, right? I have sort of a tall, narrow face, and I don't really like wearing hats backwards, and I don't really like the flat bills because the flat bills are like 3 times wider than my narrow, skinny face. And I just feel like I look funny. There's always that huge gap between my ears and the side. So I don't really like wearing hats very often. I do have a really nice wicker Volkswagen hat, like it's a big like sun hat, but I don't like wearing that big thing all the time and it bang, you know, I don't like so headbands. I'm going sport sweatbands. I got a pack of like 13 today, all the different colors. Like so I told Jillian this morning my goal is I think I'm gonna make the yellow my staple. Just keep rolling with that yellow from Thumby and Happy Thumbs and all that. And yeah, so be looking forward to that. I'm gonna be rocking some sweatpants. And speaking of Thumby, real quick, so I didn't get a chance, just with everything that's going on. I did not get a chance to add anything or really say a whole lot, but one of our viewers who's actually in the chat right now has spent a tremendous amount of time creating an amazing Minecraft mural, we'll call it. It's basically the land of Thumby. And dude, Justin, you rocked that thing. I even showed it to Reese and he was like, wait a minute. Wait, what? Whoa, he covered a whole map. He was like, that's actually really impressive. Like, so if you guys have not already joined our Discord, please go and join it now. We've got links on our community page to the Discord. We've got links on our main website to the Discord. And if you ask nicely, I'm sure one of the mods will probably drop a link to the Discord here as well. If you already are on it, go check it out. You're going to have to scroll back a bit because there's been a tremendous amount of conversation, a lot involving the work that Justin did. But, you know, and I should have, if I would have had more time, I certainly would have downloaded those photos and, you know, maybe even made a video with it. I don't know how we would make that happen, but, you know, 'cause I don't even know. I don't think I have Minecraft on PC. I don't think I ever bought it. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Let's see here. Eli's out there. What up, Eli? Welcome to the stream. Just noticed you're live watching Lego DC. Awesome. Sweet deal. Oh, look at that. Thank you, Raised. Raised posted the Discord link. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely do. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, you know, and you can get way high up. So like when you get way high up in the sky, like it's crazy how detailed and like perfect it is. Like I won't lie, Justin, when I first saw the image, like, cause like sometimes I show up and it's been like 24 hours since I've looked at it, and there's like 100 new messages. So I'll just kind of like scroll. Like I'm kind of skimming through to see if there's any fights or any problems or photos or how much gift courting has been going on. And I scrolled by and I saw that and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Somehow you can add an image in Minecraft. I was like, oh, that's really cool. He somehow imported and embedded Thumby there. And I was like looking at it and I was like, wait a minute. Are those blocks? And then, of course, I saw your joke, the Christian Bale, which was I think it was it eh? I think it was eh that gave a. As soon as I saw it, I went, oh, duh. Hilarious as well, bro. Like, you and I definitely have a very similar sense of humor with that kind of stuff. And I was telling, I don't remember who it was. I was like, only a dad can appreciate this. Because I think I told Reese, and he was like, oh, that's terrible. But I thought it was good. So yeah, definitely check that out. But I just wanted to recognize it because I don't have any photos of it. But like I legit thought it was a real photo that you had like imported. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I realized you'd actually like created the yellow blocks, which Reese was telling me is not hard, but certainly time consuming. You know, getting the flowers and then mixing and then dyeing the wheat. I guess I'm such a noob. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But again, great job. Appreciate that. That's super cool. It's actually, just so you know, too, it's got Reese sort of encouraging me to start an HTG Minecraft server. Now, I don't really play Minecraft, so I'm not like, yeah, let's do it. But, I know that there are a lot of people who do. And, depending on certain things, I might be open to that. And Reese is looking into it. He showed me some costs and things like that. But I need to know more about like how to sort of have a community like that. Like, because let's be honest, there's certain things that certain people go right to when they have creative control to do things, especially in public servers. And, the last thing we need is some statues of things, right? I don't even want to say it because I don't want to give anybody no ideas. But, so once I find out more, we will. Paz has been trying to get me to do it forever. And Paz would probably love to be like the overlord of a Minecraft server that will, so he could help me figure some of those things out. But, anyways. All right, so moving right along, I do want to talk about just a couple of things I picked up this month. As per usual, I often show you like my Lego purchases and things, and I know that I do believe I shared that I actually ordered these at the end of last month, but they didn't come till the beginning of this month. And the photos I took, they looked great on my phone, and I got them all up here late, and I was like, oh crap. And I was kind of crunched for time today, so I didn't get to improve on them. But the first one is I did pick up the Mighty Bowser. And sadly, you can see at the top of the middle of the photo there, you can see that it actually has a little crease in the top. So a lot of our purchases we make are like just like always, I buy two, usually one to open and build and one to keep tucked away for investment purposes down the road. And then I end up not opening it, and then I have two for investment. So that's kind of what happened here. Sadly, the moron at Best Buy, because they were on sale at Best Buy of all places. They were on sale there, and Buddy had to carry them. And, I don't blame him, but he carried them like he pinched the boxes and walked out with one in each hand, pinching it. And when I saw it, I was like, ah. And I wanted to be like, hey, could you go get me another one? But they were actually sent in from warehouse. I ordered two at the same time from the same checkout with the same payment method. And I got one email saying it was coming from this way and one email saying it was coming from this way. Now, they wouldn't ship them to my house for whatever reason. So I had to ship them to the store, and then I had to go pick them up. So when I got there, I knew they only had the two they had ordered for me. And sure enough, that's another thing. While I'm complaining about Best Buy, they made some big changes in the last few months. And I know I mentioned this the other day, but I'm just going to say this too, because I actually talked to an employee about it when I was there on Friday. Because I had a thing happen on Friday. If there's always something that can go wrong, it will go wrong. That's just sort of the rule. And I'm not done talking Lego. I'm going to go. I got some more stuff to show you here in a second, but I just want to get this out of my system. So, first of all, they changed the way their certificates work. So you used to like spend so much money and you get a certificate back, and then you could spend that and get, more certificates and more points. They have changed it now. And for a while, so that what they did was they transitioned. They had that available, and then they started doing this thing where if you had a Best Buy credit card, you can actually use the credit card and choose to get points, or you can get 12 months no financing or no interest. There we go. And so traditionally, in the past, if I ever used my Best Buy credit card, I would always choose the 12 months no interest because I knew I could pay it off in 12 months and I wouldn't have to pay. And the points are nice and the money, but like I'd rather have. I think I'm saving money or gaining value by doing it that way. And I may not be, but that's how I always interpreted it. Well, what I didn't know is that was sort of the segue for them to cancel their points for regular purchases. So when you go to Best Buy now and you make a regular purchase on a credit card or with cash, you don't get any points. They don't accumulate anymore. And one of my friends had sort of ranted about it a while ago, and that's when I mentioned it the first time. And I was like, man, is that really true? I don't know if it's true or not. And I should have talked to my resident Best Buy expert, because I'm sure that there would have been some more solid information given there. But so I started talking to this guy. He's been there forever. I don't think he knows my name. I don't know his name, but he's a nice dude, and we definitely interacted a lot. And so I was like, so, hey, what's the word on these words? And he was like, like he immediately like started rumbling and grumbling. And like, you could tell he was displeased, but you could also tell he had to bite his tongue because he couldn't say anything. And so he verified that that was in fact how things were going and that there was no sign of that changing or doing anything different. So that's kind of a bummer. But the one thing that actually really sort of peeved me off was last week. You might remember it was really hot. My air conditioner wasn't working and I really needed to get a new one. So I did some research, found the one that I wanted, and Best Buy had 3 in stock, and I ordered one. It told me, just like always, we're preparing your order for pickup. It'll be ready within the hour, da-da-da-da-da. So Reese and I hopped in the car, and we drove there. And I knew that I was early. I knew I hadn't gotten the email yet, right? But I knew that by the time I got there, 20 to 30 minutes would have already been eaten up just in drive time. And then I wanted to go inside because I wanted to look at a couple of things. So we went inside. And we actually found some stuff. And this is another thing I didn't even realize. There's a domino effect happening here I didn't even think about. So we go inside and we're tooling around and they don't have any air conditioning units out that were any different than what I saw online. So I was confident that I made the right purchase. I was like, cool, we'll go up front. I said, hey, before we go, let's go check out the game area. We haven't been in the game area. Reese was with me. And so we went and checked out the games. And he started playing. They had those arcade cabinets that you can buy. And he started going to town on Pac-Man. And I went around the corner and I was like, oh my God. So I'm like looking at the PlayStation stuff and all these chargers and all these like, the bases, the docks for the charge, all these charger things around. And right in the middle of it sits this. If you look, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. And he is got his hands out because he wants to hold your PS5 controller. Right? That's pretty awesome. If you guys know me or my son at all, Reese has been the biggest Sonic fan for as long as I can remember. He's got Sonic everything. He's got the Lego set. He's got Build-A-Bear. He's got, you name it. Sonic's been around. He's got Sonic toys that were super hard to find when he was younger. Now they're getting a little bit easier. We've got Sonic comics. We've got a ton of the IDW stuff. Goes on and on and on. Huge Sonic fan. And I saw this and they had 2 of them. I was like, bro, we got to get these. I'll get one for you and I'll get one for me. And so we're in the car waiting because we went and bought those and they didn't have the air conditioner ready. And I kind of laughed and I was like, cool, it ain't ready yet. I'll go sit in my car in a parking spot out front and I'll let y'all carry the big heavy box out to my car instead of me having to carry it. And I was just like making jokes or whatever, right? So we go sit in the car. At this point, it had been 45 minutes since we'd placed the order. So I was telling Reese, oh, we'll just pull in 15 minutes or so. We'll be out of here in no time. No. An hour proceeds to go by. And I'd tell you another story, but I've actually told it twice, and I've been told that I need to let it go. So I won't tell that story because there's something else happened in the parking lot with a stranger. But I'm not supposed to talk about it, and I probably already said too much, and my wandering ears of my wife probably are hearing me and laughing, going, he still hasn't let that go yet. Anyways, we're sitting in the parking lot waiting, and I tell Reese, man, now I got 3 controllers, right? Because I got my 2 main Dual Shocks, and then I've got my my DualSense or whatever, DualSense Edge, yeah, DualSense and DualSense Edge, right? So not DualShock, DualSense. So I got the 2 that go on and then I got and I was like, yeah, I'll just put this one on the Sonic one, and I'll have my one super awesomely displayed and charging. We get home, and I asked Reese, hey, how does the thing plug in? Is it USB? Does it need a power supply? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, to charge it. He goes, bro, it's not a charger. It's just a stand. What? I just paid how much money for 2 Sonic controller holders that don't do anything? They don't do anything? It's just, what? So he's already out of the box. Box is destroyed. He's like, yeah, you can't take mine back. I already destroyed the box. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's just a stand. So, anyways, back to Best Buy. Before we left, we're sitting there, and so it'd been like an hour and a half, hour and 40 since we had ordered. sitting in the car. It's 97 degrees according to my car. We're sitting there just blasting the AC, sitting right in the sun, and wondering, and then all of a sudden I get an email, and it's Best Buy telling me, sorry, we don't have your product. So you're telling me I waited how long? After waiting how long? And now you don't have it? So I walk right inside. And I go, hey, just trying to get some information here. And they're like, what can we do for you? And I was like, well, I ordered an air conditioner that was here according to your system. You said you had 3 of them an hour and 40 minutes ago when I ordered it. And now your system's telling me that we don't have any. And he's like, oh, you're going to have to go over there. So I go wait in line, and I go through the same process with another person. And they go, oh, I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to go to the other department that handles the air conditioners. Okay. So I go over there. We're at like the 2-hour mark since I ordered now. So I'm like, hey, it's been about 2 hours. Hoping that maybe you can have some information. Like, I understand that not all inventories match up. There could have been a snafu or something happened that, but I just want to know, like, I live on the other side of town. I've been out there for an hour waiting. We just want to know if we're going to be able to take this thing home today or not. If you don't have it, that's fine. I'm not going to freak out. I just want to go home if you don't have it. But again, I don't want to go home and then find out you guys have it and I got to come back here. And he goes, okay, let me go check it out. So we look it all up, and he goes away for like 10 minutes, and he comes back, and he goes, all right, I got good news. What's up? And he goes, we have your unit. I go, oh, okay, cool. And then he goes, but the problem is it was up in our loft. I didn't even know they had like a upper storage area. And he said the picker that went to go get that got all the way up there and hit the wrong button on our system. I don't remember the term he used, but like no fill. Does that ring any bells raised? Like a no fill or non-fill or something like that? I can't remember what he said. And he goes, so the problem is that because he tagged that box that way, we can't give it to you or sell it to you because the no fill cancels the order. So it's not canceled, but it cancels it from us. And then the system will then give you options of whether you want to wait for our local shop to get it, or if you want to have it sent to you. And I went, so I don't want either. So wait, it's here, but I can't get it. And he goes, no. You just need to cancel your order online and tell the system that you don't want it. And then you can buy it from us again. I was like, that's fine. So we went back, stood in line. They brought the thing over. I had to explain the whole thing to Buddy because he was like, well, wait, you just bought this and canceled this 5 minutes ago according to your, account. And I was like, yeah. And that's the guy that I started talking to about the certs and stuff, and he'd let me and all that. And then they ended up carrying the box out to my car, and they put it in my car, and we got home. And then we got home, and I hadn't been home like in hours. Reese and I had left like right after stream. We went and fed the cat, hung out with the cat. We ran a couple errands, went to Best Buy. We were there for like 2 hours, as I'd mentioned. And so we get home, and I'm like, how is the upstairs? Asking the wife, like, how is the upstairs? The AC from the house is on. We've got the fan blowing the cold air from the AC downstairs up into our room, and we've got the AC in our room on with the Dyson fan rotating, trying to mix up any stale spots, right? How is it? We come up here. I know it's backwards, but y'all can see 68 degrees. That's where we're at right now, too. So the AC unit that we owned couldn't handle cooling this room with an entire hot house, no air conditioning. But with it on, it works. So here's the fun part of that. I get to go return that air conditioner now. I'm serious. All right, back to Lego. So definitely recommend this next set that I'm about to show you. I apologize for Brad, do you know how to listen? I said I was in the car with the AC on for an hour, and you said, "Oh, you were without AC." I never said I didn't have AC. We were buying an air conditioner for my house in the car, running the air conditioner, and it's 68 degrees in my room because of the air conditioner there, smart guy. Now that we're all caught up with Brad, we'll go ahead and move on. So check it out. This set, highly recommend. And I so apologize for that. I should have just used stock photos, but I used my photos. I wanted you to see it, that I had it, right? I didn't want to just use stock photos. So here, one of the greatest sets I've seen in a minute. The one complaint that I have seen from others, and I will agree with, it needs a few more balloons. Like movie speaking, if you look at like the photos from like the like the cover of the movie, there's like 7 billion balloons, and then there's little tiny house, right? Like, I mean, it's overly done, but it's like the movie's overdone, the Lego set's underdone. Other than that, it's really cool. I want to show you the back too, because it actually has some pretty cool stuff. So it's like open, and like I mean, not that anybody wants to play Lego, but some kids probably do. This was a hot movie back in the day. I really like this movie, and the minifigs that come with it are pretty awesome, and I do recommend it. It's as of tomorrow, maybe tonight at 9 p.m. West Coast, there is a new deal, a new promotion going on at lego.com. It's for May the 4th, and I do believe there is a Star Wars related gift with purchase. Not 100% sure on that. You'd have to look and verify, but I'm pretty sure. And you also, well, for me, I'm going to be able to get free shipping because of how much I'm spending. And I'm also going to be able to cash in my VIP rewards because I actually spent my rewards, and I've got a code that I need to punch into an order. But you can't get the free stuff from the VIP unless you attach it to an order. So I've been waiting for May 1st to roll around so that I can go ahead and make a new purchase and get that new gift with purchase. Because gift with purchase is, okay, so here's a little fun fact. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to invest. If you don't have money to buy Lego, to stash away, don't do it. Don't gamble. Don't do any, because it's kind of gambling in a way, because some sets go way high, some sets drop in price. But one of the ways that you can get more value with Lego purchases is, of course, waiting for sales. That's easy. Everybody knows that. But Lego doesn't go on sale very often, and if it does, it's gone like that. So Lego does these promotional deals where if you go to their Lego stores, or you go to lego.com, and maybe they might be doing it at Target now too, because they definitely have a partnership with Target. And you can even punch in your receipts and get VIP rewards through lego.com from Target purchases, which is pretty cool. So the VIP points, wait a minute. Wait, I saw cut your hair, hippie, and I was like, wait a minute. My hair isn't long. It's really short. But the gift with purchases, so like check this out. When I ordered up, I got this for free. Now this is a pretty small, basic set, but I've already seen these selling for $30 to $35 on the Facebook Marketplace. So, you know, if you buy a Lego set, right, and you don't get any discounts, like let's say I think I paid $40 per for the upsets. I think they're $39.99. Maybe they're more. Anyways, whatever I paid, they were regular price, right? But because I get this extra set, it's sort of investment wise, and I can sell this set and get some of that money, right? So like it's just extra. So I could have made a purchase the other day and I got a little sailor's cap or something. I don't remember what they're called, but it's a cool little Lego cap. And I'll be able to attach that on and also get my gift with purchase. And there's also, I believe, a bag of VIP minifigs and like basic parts. I'm not a huge fan of those right now because I've got like the pirate one, and I've got the spring one, and I've got all these different ones, and they're really just a bag of parts. They don't really do anything. And so collector wise, I don't know how much value they will ever have, if any. It's just like a hodgepodge, like a pile of parts. And I mean, if you're a builder and you're looking, especially if you're looking for like frogs or something like that, there's going to be some of those types of things in some of these sets, and people will probably like those. But I definitely recommend waiting for the gift with purchases if you're not in a hurry to get your stuff. So tonight, I am likely, tonight slash tomorrow, I am going to purchase a couple of the Lego Indiana Jones sets if they're still available for purchase. I've got them in my cart. I don't think that saves them from the inventory going bad, but we'll see tonight. So yeah, definitely had some fun with those, photos. I wish I would have had a little better ones though for you. Let's see here. I do want to remind you guys quickly that we do have HTG merch. Nothing has changed other than the fact that, well, nothing's changed. We got lots of merch over there for you. If there are any requests, please let me know. Like if there's something that you want that isn't available, I know that zip-up hoodies were not originally available. I've made them available. Now, I am limited on the certain items and things that I can do, but if I can make it happen, I will. And if you ever get to a point where, let's say, like you want to get your nephew or maybe even yourself a shirt that has like your name or their name on it, I would definitely be willing to make a one-off or a custom that would work for you guys. All you got to do is ask. So, I can't guarantee that I'd get it done like that minute, but if you know that the birthday's coming up in say, June, I'd have a whole month to figure that out, and you guys could order it. And it only takes about 3 to 5 days, business days, that is, in order to get most merch within the United States. If you live Canada or outside, it does take a few days longer, but they're pretty efficient with their stuff. I've been really impressed with Fourth Wall. Way better than Skew, who I had been using for years before that. And the reason I chose them is because of their price points. I've always felt like I don't want to spend $50 on a t-shirt, so I'm certainly not going to charge and ask $50 for a t-shirt. I've always been a numbers guy. I'd always rather sell 100 t-shirts for $5 each than one t-shirt for $500, if that makes sense. I would rather more people have them if they want them, right? So Monster, what up, Kim? Good to see you, brother. It's been a minute. Okay. So back on track. So I got something, and I'm just realizing I did not get a button. So let's see here. Wait, working. Oh, awesome. Oh, awesome. Occupied? What did Occupy say? All the data points finally got found. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. And I'm assuming you're talking for the new Jedi game? I still haven't played that yet. I've heard a lot more come through, and it seems like the majority of problems are for sure on PC, which wouldn't be a problem for me. But I'm curious to see the map. That's something I would like to see at some point. All right, so let's talk real quick about upcoming schedule. So I've got a nice, freshly updated stream schedule for you with a nice spring theme background. We got Minecraft Legends on Monday. This week and potentially next week, we're going to be looking at Redfall on Tuesday. That's a new game that's day one on Game Pass for Xbox. And it's basically like a vampire hunter game. I don't know much about it, but it looks very intriguing. And Gray and Tude are very interested in taking it for a spin with me. So I figured, why not? Wednesday, we got at least one more week of Evil Dead. To be completely honest, I'm hoping that maybe we can work it out so that I play a game or two of the demon side for once. Because not only do I need to experience it and get some wins, games, repetition, whatever, but I also would like you guys to see it because we played one-sided the whole time. Now, I wouldn't mind if Chacho was available, if he wanted to help us out with that as well, so that we could potentially have him being the demon and ring off a few other, like, trophies for us and him as well. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Chacho was helping us out last week, and we were able to unlock a couple of trophies for ourselves that would have been much harder had some demon been coming after us constantly, or maybe wasn't very good and didn't know what to do. But we were able to, like, get our resurrections and our revives and a ton of stuff, while also hooking Chacho up with a ton of trophies for the demon side. So in the end, we're all going to have to play individually to play the demon in order to get platinum, if we all go try to get platinum. But if we don't, not a big deal. But right now, you know, having a ton of those trophies weeded out on Chacho's side for the player side is going to be helpful. And then same vice versa for us, right? So it's coming to a point where we've almost accumulated all of the trophies that would be served for multiplaying, right? Then I don't think that we'll spend a ton of time. Like, once I move on from playing with the group, I'm not going to stream all my demon play because I need 30 wins and a bunch of stuff. That'll either happen on its own off stream or it won't happen at all. It just depends on my availability, what games I'm playing, how much time I have to play games. Like, I'm going to Eagle Crest here in a couple months, and there's time there that I might be. You know, Jillian likes to go to the pool. I don't do swimming very much, so you know, there's a high probability I'll stay back and either watch some shows or play some games. So we'll see. Although it is fun to embarrass Reese. We got like matching outfits. So like swimsuits, Jillian and I. And Reese doesn't like that. But I don't even know if he's coming this year. He's 18. He's going to be freshly graduated. I don't know. He said he might stop by for a couple days, but I think it's going to be me and the wife kind of getting our own little reprieve with the Drex. He'll be with us as well. So Jeffrey P's out there. What up, Jeffrey? All right. So, stream schedule is pretty much covered. And then, of course, we got Apex on Fridays. And now, this particular week, Thursday is May 4th. And I double booked myself because internally I had plans to pull out my Apple Arcade device and stream some Lego. What is it? I can't even think of the name. Castaways? Lego is that what I think it's Castaway? Adam, are you still out there? What we used to all play that a lot back on mobile and whatever. Like, that was like a year ago. Tons of updates have happened. I thought it'd be fun to take it for a spin on May the 4th be with you day. Problem is, if you guys remember, last week I met up with a potential client that I'm going to be building a website for. And they asked me if we could meet up to sit down in person. And I didn't have my laptop or anything, so we couldn't have done it there. And he was wanting me to bring my laptop up because he wants to like work through and sort of build the website together, which is going to be tough for me to do, if I'm being honest, because I like to work, but I hate the pressure of eyes watching me because sometimes I have to tinker with things to get them to do what I want them to do. And sometimes I have ways of doing it that may be questioned by others. So anyways, I am going to reach out to him probably tomorrow and just see what his availability for Thursday is. If he is available, I'm going to have to prioritize that and do that. If he's not available, then I will play, I believe it's Lego Star Wars Castaways, I think is what it's called. Apple Arcade. I should look that up. So my wife brought something home yesterday that, Castaways is what it's called. I didn't know these existed, and maybe I'm dumb, and maybe this is going to be news to all of you as well. But one of my favorite fruits of all time has always been the grape. I love grapes, right? My mother-in-law, I think, loves grapes more than I do, and she'll buy, like, if they go on sale, she'll pretty much clean out whatever the sale is and bring a truck full of them home. And then we all sort of eat them, but she's definitely the dominant consumer. Now, my wife went to Costco yesterday. That's right, Costco. So if you guys have a Costco near you and a Costco card, you should go check these out. They have grapes, but they're called cotton candy grapes. This is real. I am not lying to you. They taste like cotton candy. They're a grape. They look like grapes. They're green. Pop it in your mouth, crunch it down. It's like crunchy cotton candy. Like when I was like, no way do they taste like cotton candy. I just figured it was like, like strawberry tomatoes, right? Isn't that a thing? Isn't that? But they don't taste like strawberries, right? So like, um, I was blown away. And if you have an opportunity to try a cotton candy grape and you don't have fruit, issues, definitely try it because like, OMG. Reese and I ate almost a whole plastic container. It comes with two when you get them from Costco. Um, we ate almost a whole thing yesterday. I mean, we had to go through whoa, it turns our pea green. And like, also, we ate way too many grapes, right? Like, so they're really good and I highly recommend them. They probably have them at local grocery stores too. Probably not exclusive to Costco. But cherry tomato, there you go. That's what it is. But they don't taste like cherries, right? They don't taste like cherries. So I don't really like tomatoes. Secret's out. I don't like tomatoes. All right, so we're getting through most of my list. Um, I do have one thing I want to talk a little bit more about because it's going to potentially change things in the future. Um, this could be short term, could be long term, could be nothing. I don't know, which is why I'm going to throw up some question marks here. Oh crap, that was not good. Let's see here. Where'd you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Oh my goodness. It keeps grabbing the wrong stupid thing here. Really, I just want to move this guy down. There we go. That's all I wanted to do. Stupid Streamlabs. All right, so I've already mentioned this in the past to some of you during another live stream. There's one or two of you out there that know more than I'm about to share with you guys. But I don't want to talk about it too much because, first of all, I don't want to jinx it. Second of all, I don't know many details. I do know some stuff. And if you really watch a lot of our streams, you might be able to put it together. But I was actually reached out to about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was like the first week of April. And they were like, hey, there was a development studio making a video game. And they were like, hey, we want to talk to you about being our lead content creator. His words, not mine. I'm not even sure what that means. I mean, that could potentially mean pumping out a video every day, once a week, once a month. That could be like a position that's paid. They may want exclusivity. I have no idea. They may just want me to play their game on stream. Regardless, so they reached out and they asked me that, and I told them I was very interested. And about a week went by and I didn't hear anything from them. So they did reach back out. What's up, Johnny? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Glad we could help out with Lego Marvel. They reached out and said that they're basically going through a bunch of stuff, and so they've got 2 different projects they're working on. One of them has been in alpha for a while, and it's been available. I've seen it. I have not played it. I do have it now, but I still haven't played it yet. And it's they're also so they're going to be making a console version, or a console game, I should say, as well. So one's mobile, one's console, and I'm under the impression that they want me for the console one, but that's still yet to be determined. So if it's a mobile game they want me to play, it's gonna be a little tougher because I just don't necessarily have the access to do all that. At least I didn't. I've got a backbone this last couple of weeks too. I've talked about this a little bit as well. This is basically a controller that plugs into your phone and it works with Android. There's an iOS version as well. This actually has a service with it that is paid, which immediately turned like Toot off. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, what? I don't want to pay no monthly service for something that I'm going to use periodically. Turns out, though, it's optional. And the service actually offers decent streaming availability. So, I mean, I haven't tested it fully yet. And part of the reason is because this thing, I have to pull my cover off of my phone in order to use it. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to do that. It just the USB port isn't long enough to go into my phone with the case on for protection. So I have to peel that off. So that was kind of a as soon as I found that out, but I'll get over that. I will plan on messing with this a little bit more. Again, this may be in the box for another month or two. And they may contact me tomorrow and be like, hey, we really need you. And I may have to really sit down and figure this thing out. But so far it's been good. I did play some stuff with it and check it out, but it's there's a lot more for me to learn, and I do believe I can stream directly to YouTube from my phone whilst playing these games. So possibility to see in the future. Now, again, it may require very little time for me. It may take over one of the days a week we stream, and I may stream that game for, a month or 3 or however long, I feel it's worth it. Again, I don't want to talk about the game or any of that yet because, first of all, I don't want to jinx anything. It's a huge honor to be contacted and to be asked to, it's an honor to be contacted for any kind of collaborations or sponsorships or anything like that. Like when you're independent like I am and you've got a small team and family that rallies around you, when the big fish, skip a rock to the little pond, it's very flattering. And you guys know in the past I've had a sponsorship with Warner Brothers. That was really awesome because it was directly attached to Lego, but I haven't been hearing much from them lately, and I certainly haven't heard anything regarding the 2K release, which I don't think Warner Brothers has anything to do with 2K Drive. So this would be a big thing for me, and if it ends up being like a community manager or something bigger like of that nature, then I would likely be very interested in that for the long term. For a long time, I felt like Happy Thumbs thrives best off Lego content, and when there's not a lot of Lego games, it's tough. And I've tried a bunch of other games. I've tried adult-based games. I've tried some more all ages types games. I've tried. We've done tons of guides, and the amount of views the other stuff gets is just, it's hard to swallow the amount of time that goes into projects that big for such, and it's like most people don't even know. Like I always bring up The Last of Us Part 2. That game was so big, and I feel like Reese helped me with that, my son, and I feel like we did an amazing job documenting things, mapping it out. I feel like there was a perfect mix of like humor, but also seriousness of just getting the collectibles and moving on. But they just don't get views. And days of my life went into that project, and I'm grateful for it because I got to do it with Reese, and that's huge. That would be memories we have forever. But ultimately, in the working side of things, like it just doesn't work. So, getting an opportunity to do something full time, like if I get an opportunity to be the rep for this company that I'm going to be building the website for. He's moving. I've already told you guys that in the past. The owner and rep for Oregon is moving to Las Vegas and is going to be taking the product and everything to Vegas, which is genius if you ask me, but that's a whole nother story. And I think I told you when I met up with them last week, Jillian, without missing a beat, was like, who's your Salem rep going to be? If you need somebody for the South Oregon, blah, 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 Brian's your guy. And I was just like standing there going, okay, babe, let me talk to this guy. Like but she was like totally pitching me, right? And so he was like, oh, yeah. So there's definitely wheels, turning there, and who knows what'll happen. But if I get an opportunity to do that, then I will revert back to the whole, always prioritize as much Lego as I can. If I do have some open days, that I will stream. But if I have an opportunity to do something that's going to help me grow as a human and as a husband, as a financial supporter, yes, that would definitely be something I'd be interested in. Change of pace too, right? Like it would probably help me and my anxiety to get out of this bedroom a little bit more than once a week. So, and I appreciate that, Gray. I feel like more people, if more people saw that, that would maybe help spread the word. But I don't know how to do that. I've never tried the YouTube promote. This is a weird thing too. So yeah, game. Hopefully, some point we'll be able to talk about. I will say that the game that they have been working on is its final build has been built. They are testing it. I don't know how long it'll be before they're done with that, and they move to the console. But so the priority right now is to get that mobile side done and then move on to the console. So the console is expected to be out this year. So I know that whatever they're working on, there has to be a playable build already, and who knows how long it'll be before I get a chance to experience it. But so yeah, let's see here. What else? Yeah, I was almost on a podcast, but we that didn't work out. I'm just looking at all my notes for this week. What does that even say? I can't even read my own writing. Oh yeah, Sonic Stand. Okay, I talked about that. Yeah, all right. Well, I've got through all my lists. Of course, I still got Patreon. Toots here. What up, bro? And of course, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I've officially made it to the hour mark, which was kind of my goal. I think dinner is going to be ready in the next 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and give my big thanks and shout outs to all the Patreon people. And let's see here. Yeah, and then, one last thing, Lego 2K Drive comes out the 19th next month, so we're about 2.5, 3 weeks away from that. And I'm excited to play it, but we'll know more about what our plans are. Tyler's on standby to potentially write a guide. If something comes up with him, I've got Dougie as a backup who's ready to write the guide for it. And he's fresh off that new Disney Mario Kart game, whatever it's called. I didn't even heard of it. He's like, hey man, if you want some videos or some guides or some info, whatever for this game, I'm like, that's awesome, bro. But I gotta be honest, I don't even know what you're talking about. So he's like, oh, it's like Mario Kart, but Disney. And I was like, what? So then I looked into it, and it actually looks pretty cool. But he's been hot playing that. In fact, he said he was like 8th in the country or something. I don't know how that breaks down, if there's like a million different categories or if there's like one and he was up. Doesn't surprise me. Dougie's a gamer, always has been. And much like Tyler, both of those guys can just dominate a game and regurgitate the information I need into a guide like nobody else so far. I mean, other people have done it and they've done a great job, but there's like, there's like a time frame difference. Like it's crazy. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody else that's ever held. I'm just saying, like, these dudes got it going on. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, Patreon supporters, if you guys aren't familiar with Patreon, it is a independent website that allows you to support the creator directly. YouTube obviously takes a cut every time there's a super chat or a membership that happens. The portions of that make it to me, portions of it make it to Google. Whereas Patreon allows you to directly support us, and there is like a 2% PayPal fee or something that exchanges when money happens, but ultimately it's the better option as far as ratio goes. And by no means am I saying go there but there are options there that do get some love. You get to be added to our Happy Thumbs Namer Wall of Fame. I know that's kind of a mouthful to spit out, but if you go to our website, happythumbsgaming.com, there's actually a tab for a page that takes you to all of our Patreon supporters. So past and present. So if you maybe just donated $1 one time, you made the wall. You're there forever, at least until the website goes down. So that's something that some people enjoy. They like contributing and also being a part of something, getting to see their name on that wall. But all of the donations at any level gets you that. And then at the $5 level, it actually gets you a written shout out from Thumbie, which we'll go ahead and do that right now. These are the $5 supporters for this month. What up to all of them? Thank you so much, guys. As you can see, Jeffrey P was added at the bottom of the list, and I went ahead and added the G Skywalker. I wasn't sure if you wanted that or not, but because you included it in the name that you provided, I figured you did. So big shout out to all these people. And of course, the new guy, Jeffrey P, much love. And, we also have the $10 and up shout outs, which used to be a little more popular when we started them. They're not as popular anymore, and that is okay. I know money doesn't grow on trees, and by no means am I, again, asking or suggesting, but these are options. If you love hearing your name shouted out by somebody with a nasally drone like myself, feel free to go ahead and check out our $10 support tiers. but in no particular order at all. I'm going to go ahead and shout these out real quick. We got, I was just talking about this guy, Doug E. Fresh 613. What's up, Dougie? Thanks for the love and support. You know, Doug's been around and not active as of late, but has been a supporter since, you know, almost day one. I mean, it was probably like our first full calendar cycle of doing stuff when we ran into Doug, and then Doug has been a part in some way, you know, and of course he's got his hands all over some of our series, you know, from some Assassin's Creed stuff to, you know, he's actually the one that wrote the guide for Sly Cooper. That's how we met. I don't know if everybody's ever heard that story, but I see Brian D's out there too. What up, Brian D? Much love. Yeah, so next $10 Patreon supporter is Bonnie Miller. Big shout out to Bonnie Miller. Thank you for your Patreon support. Because of the time frame, it's always hard for this next one to show up while we're streaming, but every once in a while we see him on some other streams. Got to give some love to Michael Gersberg. Thank you so much, Michael, for your support. Much love, much love. And last but not least, at the $10 and up support, we've got Smallville 2011. Some of you know him by Andrew. Some of you know him by Harry Potter. Either way, thank you so much, Andrew, for your continued support. And as per usual, to any of those names that I just yelled out, we would love to see you in the chat or a message behind the scenes. I know that sometimes life is tough or whatever. You guys are busy, so the streams are hard to make. But drop a comment. Let me know what's going on. Andrew, I hope everything's good with you. You know, and same with everybody else. Bonnie, Doug, Michael as well. So big shout out and love to all you guys. And all right, so that just brings us to the final stretch of our programming, where you guys have a chance to sort of ask questions or maybe tell stories about things that happened over the weekend or whatever. Keep in mind, we will be going live again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which will be Minecraft Legends, which we hope to get through some more. You know, we did make a mistake when we first started the game. I guess it's been reported, and Gray can probably confirm this. It's been reported that there is a trophy for the platinum that requires you to beat the game or the story mode on hard. And I do not believe we are playing on hard. So I think we might have a choice to make whether we want to maybe not get the platinum, or at least in this case, we're playing an achievement. So not get the 100%. I know that Gray picked up the PlayStation version, and I'm not sure if we've confirmed if there's cross play or not, but we'll have to figure that out as far as communications and stuff go, because, you know, both platforms now have Discord, but I don't think any of us have used Discord on either platform, let alone on both crossing platforms. So definitely would be interesting. Just achieved platinum for Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Nice. Those Kingdom Hearts games are usually pretty grindy. I know that the one I played was definitely a beast. It was a fun one, and had I have understood the way that the crafting stuff worked, I probably could have done less. It probably wouldn't have taken me as long. But I spent some things or crafted some things. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I did use some resources, some materials that I had to farm, and I bought the wrong one. So still have the security breach guide in my notes if you ever want it, Brian. Laugh out. Yeah, so you know, I always liked that game. Truly, I enjoyed it, but I don't think I was very good at it, and not understanding the lore behind some of those people, like some of the, like, I just felt a little bit disconnected while playing it. However, the actual gameplay, like the chase sequences and stuff like that stuff was fun, exhilarating, if you will. And I do enjoy me a good haunt or horror type of scenario from time to time. I don't know if I'll ever go back, but you would certainly be the guy I would hit up if I did. Let's see here. Monster says this one's pretty straightforward. Guitar Hero meets Kingdom Hearts. All right. Rock out. There is crossplay. So, okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out. I mean, as it sits, if you can present a solution that works for communications, Gray, I'm not against you playing on PlayStation with us on Xbox. But right now, Toot and I probably won't be joining on the PlayStation. If Deggy's paying money via Patreon, isn't he technically just paying himself? That's a good question. Because of the way that things work, when Doug was quote unquote full time with us, We definitely had, you know, a scale. Same with, you know, back, go all the way back to the original people involved. You know, we always had a scale, and it was pretty unbalanced in the beginning. And, you know, now, because Doug hasn't provided anything for a long time, like obviously there hasn't been any expectation from him. So, by Doug supporting the channel, in many ways, no, he's just helping keeping the HTG dream alive. Let's see here. Brian says something about his daughter. I might miss tomorrow because my daughter had a car out. Ooh, that's not good. Hopefully it wasn't a bad one. Hopefully it was just like a minor fender bender. Those can still be like very stressful and tough to get through, but hopefully like physically everything is okay for her. And Grace says he's going to play on Xbox. Cool. Simplifies things. I mean, again, if we could figure that out, I'm not against it. I'll be around before stream, so if we want to toy with that, we could. But yeah, so I'm excited for Redfall. I really don't know what I'm getting into on Tuesday, but I am excited for that. And of course, Evil Dead. Well, hopefully we'll be wrapping up most, if not all, of the multiplayer trophies, and then we'll see. The axle came off. Wow, that sounds crazy. I saw a video of a tire that came off a truck, and a little, I think it was a Kia Soul. So like small little, like a little tiny little mini SUV kind of thing. Hit that doing like 60, and it sent that thing like 30 feet in the air. The reason I was able to see it was because the car behind it had a dash cam and recorded the whole thing. And it was on Twitter or something. But was it you that posted that video, Gray? Was it you who posted that video? The smart car went flying? Yeah, it probably was. I use a program that takes a picture and converts it in any size meter size blocks. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you know, Reese is so on and off again with games. Like he'd be like, I hate Fortnite. It's the worst game in the world. And which reminds me of something. And then like 2 days later, it'll be like Fortnite. You know, like it comes in cycles. Speaking of Fortnite, I do want to put this out there. So some data miners got into some future Fortnite files. Have you guys seen this yet? Tell me if you've already seen it. I don't know. Nobody's talked about it yet. Nobody's tagged me in anything yet. So I'm assuming not a lot of people are aware of this, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot to be aware of at this point, or what it would mean if it is real. But data mining is a process that's been going on for a long time. Digital stuff's been around. People have been trying to mine and find things out. So in fact, I used to do a ton of data mining back in the Adobe Flash days. I had a thing called a Swift decompiler, which the Swift, the SWF, was the exported file type for a Flash. You know, whether it was a video, whether it was a video game, whether it was an interactive map, or it didn't matter what it was, the final file was an SWF file. Not to be confused with SWV. The SWF or Swift file was basically a capsule that took all of this code and these parameters and just puked them into this capsule. You could decompile those. So what I could do was I could go to a website that was super fancy that had all this movement and action script, which was the language that taught it had, and I could hit a button and it would decompile that whole thing, and it would tell me the way that this button works is because of this code and this. And so that's how I actually learned a ton of stuff, was reverse engineering a lot of sites. Now, I wouldn't like use those sites and duplicate them, but I would use the code and I would use the methodology behind it. Super smart stuff, super easy, super great. There was more to this that I was actually going to tell you, but trying to remember where the end game was on that. Regardless, decompiling and stuff is awesome. And let's see here, accent, smart car, that's funny. He did, yeah. There's a certain amount of stuff I'll be scrolling, Gray, and I'll see something and I'll be like, I bet you Gray posted that. And I'll scroll back up, and sure enough, it's you that posted it. Like, I can tell most of the time when you're posting stuff. All right, doesn't insert anything, just a reference for building. Gotcha. So it's like a mosaic planner kind of a thing, in a Brian explanation kind of a way. It simplifies a graphic and breaks it down, or like a color by numbers kind of thing. Wasn't me. All right, people. Um, it's always fun hanging out. We will be back tomorrow, as I mentioned. Oh, look, it stopped raining. Anything car related? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of car stuff. Oh, and Gray, did you get an invite from the Volkswagen Auto Group, the VAG group? Um, I got to spell that out and say that so it doesn't come across inappropriately. But the other day, we're part of the Volkswagen Auto Group, and they invited us to another Volkswagen Auto Group. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to see that one or not. And I started looking at the photos, and it was all like amazing builds, like high end, like Volkswagen and Audi stuff. Very, very good. And it's not like the other one, because there's that other one that's like, 4 or 5 cars and then some other stuff, and then 4 or 5 cars and then some other stuff. I think that one might be your favorite, but I like this other one. And you didn't get it. So I wondered, like, why would they select me? What's that all about? Big shout out to Who Is Chase. Thanks for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy our content. One last thing I want to tell you about. And if you, yeah, I know you do. If you guys have any last things, now's the time to shoot it out in the chat, because I'm going to wrap it up here. And there is a little bit of a delay between what I say and when I see and when you see and when you hear. So type it now if you got any questions, because I'm going to wrap it up. A couple weeks ago, wife and I were at the adult beverage store, and they have this whole cooler full of like high end like craft beers. And I'm sure I told you about this already, but there's an update to it. So there's this company, and they're out of Eugene, which is only about an hour away from me, an hour south. And it's called no, it's not Level 52. What is it? It's oh gosh, I can't think of what it is. Let's see if my Google will remember anything. No, it's not. I wish I could remember the name of the brand. Anyways, so they make all these different types of beers, but they also make these. God, I'm trying to think. It was called a dessert sour the first time. The second time it was called like a puree rosé, roja. It wasn't rosé, because rosé is wine. It was something different. But so they have a chocolate cherry puree, a dessert sour. It's literally like a smoothie, but it has alcohol in it. Pretty hard to drink a whole pint of it, because it's just like fruity and thick and sweet. But the chocolate cherry, it's crazy. Like, you take a drink and you're like, I just ate like a whole mouthful of chocolate cherries. Like, it is so delicious in so many ways. Again, hard to have more than like a half or a full one at a time, because they're just too sweet. Well, we went last night because there's a special beer that's been brewed that hasn't made it to cans locally yet. Nam has been to the local place that brews it a few times and has rubbed it in my face, because he gets it on tap at that place. They're not canning it, making it down south yet. So we went to go see if they had any in, because they were supposed to get it in on Thursday or something. And they didn't, sadly. But they had this, God, I wish I could remember the name of the brand. They had the same brand, and it was a different can. Instead of being red and black and having like cherries and chocolate all over it, it was purple, and it was actually called Purple Kush, which is a reference to a particular type of cannabis. And so when I saw that, I was like, does that have weed in it? That's weird. And I looked at it, and it didn't. It was just an alcoholic beverage, so no weed at all. And so I started reading it, and it's like grape puree, blah, 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 vanilla, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, grape and vanilla, those are like two of my favorite things. And so looking at it, I knew it was going to be one of those like smoothie, puree, sour things. And got it home, cracked one open, took a drink. So delicious. But again, it's that same sweet, it's too sweet. But they're really good. So I'm like, I got like a 3-pack of both of them actually, because my wife loved the chocolate cherry one so much. She went in the next time and bought another 4-pack. But then she tried to drink a whole one, and much like me, she was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, you just feel so heavy. Like, even my heavy beers don't feel as heavy as drinking this fruit, because it's like literally like pureed fruit. Like, it's fruit. Like, it's crazy. I've never really had that before, nor have I seen or heard. Nobody talks about stuff like so. Anyways, if you're an adult, you have access. Look for dessert sours and things. Not like a sour ale, like a dessert sour, which is totally different. All right. Let's see here. Old Man Brian Brain, Mr. Volkswagen Bug. Oh yeah, no, I don't hardly ever leave the house at all, so drinking and driving is not something that's anywhere near remotely possible for me. Let's see, you remember the Kush, huh? I mean, I think that's sort of nostalgic, right? I mean, there's a lot of songs and stuff named that too, and there may be something beyond that I'm just not aware of or whatever, but anyways. All right, guys. That's gonna do it. Yeah, I pulled one of those out for one of my buddies who I'd forgot had been sober for 12 years. I felt like an arse. Because like it's one thing to have a life choice like that. I support it, whatever he wants. Like, it doesn't matter to me if he drinks or doesn't drink. Is right? Like, it's cool if he doesn't want. But I felt bad going, hey, look what I got you, man. I hadn't seen him in a minute. And, like, we're both family guys. So when we do see each other, we're at home. We're not, like, at bars or anything like that. So, like, I just felt really bad. He's like, man, I gave up drinking 12 years ago. I was like, oh. Sober for 2 months, huh? Like, everybody's got their own path, right? Like, I don't think people are... I mean, if you don't have a problem, then I say do whatever you want. If you choose to just not, that's fine too. Like, you don't need a reason to have one way or the other. For many, 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 many years, like, I didn't drink, and it's only been in this last like year or two that I've sort of picked up drinking again. And I'm not like, I mean, it's like 1 or 2 a week or something like that. Like, I don't have a lot, but the stuff I do drink is really heavy and thick on my belly. So, let's see here. Sober for 2 months. Is that intentional, or are you just not enough money to get you? You're 21 now, right? Right? Didn't you turn? You're like almost 22 now, right? Trying to remember. Old Man Brian Brain strikes again. Anyways, that's gonna go ahead and do it. Hey, if you guys are around tomorrow, I'd love to see it. We're gonna play some more Minecraft Legends. Hopefully, get through the story. I don't know how much is left, but yeah, I hear that, Brian. Well, good for you for finding a way to make the change, because that's not easy. And that was kind of the story with my friend too. He'd had a kind of a troubled past, and it was not hereditary, but like passed on from his dad, who wasn't very kind to him. Lots of that. And anyways, yep. All right, peoples, much love to you all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Like I said, I will be back at it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're around, come hang. If not, do your thing. That's going to go ahead and do it for me, though, guys. Feel free to check us out on any of our social medias, which I really just recommend Facebook, Patreon, and Twitter. But we also have a Twitch account and probably some other stuff floating around as well. Naruto Pro, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy our content. As for me, guys, that's going to do it. As always, until next time, see ya.